Hi there. Welcome to Night Timeline Talks. Tonight is impressive. One of my contacts on MikeBloomberg team told me that the salary is there for people who is a student, for example, on political science, and this person haven't tell me, but is the average income for every young people, every young person, young professionals that are part of this team. Michael Bloomberg pays them $7,000 a month. It's amazing. They are making a lot of money. And you know what Michael Bloomberg requests for? Not experience, not professional credentials, no contacts. He doesn't care. He has the contacts. And what these kids must have is loyalty. Loyalty is what Michael Bloomberg requests to every single person of his team. As I told you in my previous broadcasting, I was in contact with Miss Alexandra Soto. Miss Alexandra Soto was telling me they have thousands of interviews requests every single day. When I did mine, the answer I got from them was, Francisco, you must wait after the Super Tuesday, because on the results of everything and what happens by that date, I am going to have the real answer if it's possible. Interview Mr. Bloomberg or somebody on his team that speaks Spanish, because remember, I broadcast this program also in Spanish. But the point here is Mr. Bloomberg is doing more than any other candidate. He is exceeding his budget expectations by hundreds of millions of dollars than any other candidate contending. Even Mr. Bloomberg haven't appeared on the ballot, and he is not going to be on the ballot for South Carolina. He is still plenty of money. Speculations on professional media, not small media like me, are telling that he is planning to put another $500 million plus 450 or he already have, and he's expecting contributions because the actor Dick Van Dyke put together a group of Hollywood that is collecting money for his campaign. So imagine that. But it's unbelievable. Tomorrow, Tuesday, there is another Democratic debate. And everybody is expecting, listen to me, attacks against Michael Bloomberg, not to Donald Trump, against Michael Bloomberg. I don't know what happened, but if you've seen, nobody in the Democratic team is attacking Bernie Sanders because he's winning. He is the big winner. All the polls, all the results on the latest elections, primary elections, Iowa, New Hampshire. Now he has a lot of possibilities to win again, but it's not the fact that he win again this election. It's the fact that Bernie Sanders is the only one has the attributes that developed his own campaign. Even he declared himself a socialist. Even he declared himself as the only candidate who is independently in the Democratic Party against Donald Trump. Bernie Sanders already was on the top of the trending tops of the past election in 2016. And now he's climbing again. But Mike Bloomberg is against him. They attack each other in a lot of interviews. Mike Bloomberg is not giving too many interviews. According to Alexandra Soto, there is an interview requested by Jorge Ramos from Univision. And she is not planning to give him until they follow up with the other requests from other media. But my question to her, because I interviewed her a few days ago, was why you gave an interview to Jorge Ramos' co-anchor, Patricia Jainiot, who is an excellent journalist. And her answer was that she requested first than Jorge Ramos. Now, my own question, because I haven't interviewed or I haven't prepared my program with only one interview. Imagine, that is not fair for my audience. No, at the time I interview people for one program, I check information with at least 100 sources. In person, doing phone calls, exchanging emails, Googling, and checking in books. Why not? It's good to be prepared, it's good to be documented, and you deserve the truth. It's what we are here for. Well, unbelievable. Univision sold time to Mike Bloomberg. Mike Bloomberg likes the first Spanish interview on Univision. And as Mr. Jorge Ramos is the boss, oh no, he declined. He declined to do a paid interview by himself. Why? If he make the tough questions, he is the most aggressive journalist in the Spanish media. No, why? Send Patricia, send Patricia. But no way. Patricia Jainiot is more professional than Jorge Ramos. I know Patricia Jainiot background is better than Jorge Ramos. Patricia Jainiot did a majestic interview to Cesar Augusto Pinochet, the former president of Chile. And remember, he led the coup against Allende, President Allende, in the 1960s. And Patricia Jainiot do not accept to do paid interviews too. So, who is telling the truth? Well, a couple days after, La Opinion of Los Angeles, a daily newspaper in Spanish that now is part of LA Times, Los Angeles Times, published a story that Univision is on sale. And it is selling for a lowest price. It is being paid for $100 million. You can Google the interview and see all the background. I'm not planning to explain all the crap behind the business on Univision, because there is a lot of situations of kingmakers dealing with that situation, Univision Music, Univision Networks, whatever. The point here is explain what's going on the political campaigns. The point here is crystal clear that Miss Patricia Jainiot did a good interview to Mike Bloomberg. Very fluent English, very clear questions, and I don't buy Patricia Jainiot did the pay interview for Univision. So, if Jorge Ramos is trying to use Patricia Jainiot, no way. I know executives, top executives of Univision and Telemundo, And Patricia Jainiot is there because they need somebody who knows more and has a better prestige than Jorge Ramos to broadcast the primetime newscast. Okay? So, Univision executives, don't play that games with my friend Patricia Jainiot. She's helping you to raise your rating that you are losing for poor credibility. And you say on your broadcast, who is Jorge Ramos? You informed that he was dating with an actress, Mexican actress, and at the same time she was dating with the weather woman of Univision at the same time. So, and you know, both of them were 25 years old. And you say the tagline, 25 plus 25 make 50, the age of Jorge Ramos. Okay, don't play that games. Jorge Ramos is not serious as a person. I am nobody to judge him, but I will not allow Univision put in a questionable situation to Miss Patricia Jainiot. Miss Patricia Jainiot is a serious journalist, well dedicated to prepare every night. She is one of the most dedicated journalists I ever seen on TV, and she will never run a paid interview on TV. So get out with that story somewhere else. And I put this pointing my finger because some magazines mention in English that fact, and I will not allow some people in editorials, wherever, minimize the greatest Latin American, Colombian American journalist like Patricia Jainiot. Jorge Ramos, you can say whatever he wants of him, because I saw many situations going on with Mr. Jorge Ramos. But Patricia Jainiot is fair, is professional, is dedicated, is a person who never include on her broadcast a rumor or something that is not being confirmed. So if the Mike Bloomberg campaign wants to develop some rumors or situations, it's their own business. They are losers, they are losing. And the fact of putting a lot of money to buy the election, that doesn't mean that is going to be the winner. I hope I can be wrong. But at this point, Bernie Sanders is still very strong. And Mr. Mike Bloomberg is not giving interviews. Only one recently to the former pastor, the Reverend, I forgot the name of the Reverend that is in NBC, one of those low rating programs where Mike Bloomberg gave an interview. But he's not taking calls from Fox, from CNN, from anyone. I don't know what's going on. The Reverend Sharpton. Reverend Sharpton interview Mr. Bloomberg, but nobody else yet. So I don't think Mike Bloomberg is ready to answer evidently how to justify the millionary budget. Not because he doesn't justify the money. He is rich. He can do whatever he wants with his money. But he haven't justified why using a lot of money instead of political plans. Obviously, he has access a lot of information. He's powerful. Bloomberg Television. He has the financial information at the top of his hand. The situation is he's very hermetic. He is not leading too many requests for questions, for interviews, for appearance in other places. In Nevada, he was inviting beer and chicken wings to his followers. Come on. That is not from a real candidate on the Democratic Party. And Nancy Pelosi was so mad because she is calling all the candidates to be united and to make of the Democratic Party an institution that really is fighting for the democracy of this country. And they are not doing that. It's a shame. Shame on you, all of you, because, there is not a candidate that really can convince totally to the American people. Some people was thinking Bernie Sanders will by Donald Trump. But as soon he won Nevada, at least 100 analyses from experts were released telling Bernie Sanders' socialist plan do not justify a government plan for the United States of America. Bernie Sanders' project to provide free Medicare, free education, free kinder care for everyone, don't justify in numbers and a budget. And obviously they are going to increase the debt ceiling, money that the United States doesn't have yet, and that don't mean that a politician has a smart plan to solve the real problematic of the United States. Because spending money like running water is the worst mistake a politician can do. And listen, I'll be broadcasting in English with my heavy and broken accent, but I know, and I am very clear what I'm talking about. Until those Mexican Americans, friends on the audience, that don't speak Spanish clear, but understand more English because they are dreamers, they are people who raised here, but for any problem they couldn't fix their paperwork. And they are in the middle. They don't know if they are Americans, if they are Mexicans, or if they are Hispanics, whatever. Well, but just you speak English well. For you is this message. I am dedicated to you because if nobody prepares something for you, I'm doing this small broadcast because you deserve attention. You deserve to know the truth. And the truth is there is no politician who is thinking about you. There is no politician who is preparing a plan of government for you. They like your vote. They like your taxes. But let's go to see who is introducing in a real government plan for a good debate, because the crap is going on and that don't resolve any problem. Thank you very much. Have a good night, America. Lord bless America. Lord bless all of you. And I talk to you tomorrow.